Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to bring you along for my morning routine. Full disclosure, I've already done my morning routine. I am still in my pajamas. Clearly, getting dressed is not a step in my routine. But I filmed the whole thing, and now I'm going to talk about it, and you can watch it as I talk about it. It just was easier for me than trying to figure out how to talk and do at the same time, especially since some steps of my morning routine involve a 6-month-old right now. So a couple of background information things before we jump in, because videos like this tend to bring new people. So I just want to quickly share that I live in Chicago, Illinois with my husband and our 6-month-old daughter and our kitty, who was also featured in some of the clips this morning. And I work for myself, so I have a lot of flexibility when it comes to my day and my routines and all the things that I'm doing. So that is a big piece of it. Not everyone has this flexibility. I will say I have had a pretty robust morning routine for the last few years. I started really getting serious about it maybe 4-ish years ago and have prioritized it ever since. It has looked very different over the years. Obviously, the morning routine that I had when I was still working a corporate 9-to-5 job in the office looked one way. And then when I was working that corporate job at home, it looked a different way. And then once I started working for myself, an even different way. Pregnancy, and now having a baby. I also want to let you know that my routine does not look the same every single day. I will pop up on the screen the steps of my routine, and in an ideal world, I'm doing them in that order, straight with no stopping or no pausing. But that rarely happens. Not every day is going to look the same. There are times that I get up before my daughter. She does not wake up at the same time every day, and so there's times that I will wake up before her and get X number of steps in before she wakes up. Sometimes she wakes me up and I am doing the beginning or starting the steps while she is awake. And sometimes that means I have to push things to the end to wait until she's down for her first nap. Sometimes it means that I'm just moving things around and doing things in different orders. And a lot of times I will bring her along with me and we'll go to different rooms. She loves looking at different things in different rooms, and we'll go do the various steps of my routine, but it looks different every single day and it's not always at the same time. And so what I'm going to show you today is I'm not sitting here saying I do this every single day all the time, because I don't. This is the ideal state of what my routine looks like, and there may be differences depending on what she has feeling for the day, what time it is, whether my husband is awake, etc. So before we jump in, the app I use, I know I've talked about this before, but just in case you're new, is called Routinery. I love this app. I have been using this app specifically for almost 4 years. It has absolutely changed the game for me when it comes to working on my routines. I do have the paid version. I'm pretty sure the biggest difference in the paid version is that you can have more than 2 routines, and I do have more than 2 in there, so it's absolutely worth the cost for me. But I cannot say enough good things about this app, and they are constantly updating it and adding new features that have actually made a difference for me. And one of those new things is that you don't have to put a time on the routine. You can just put when you're gonna do it, like a different kind of domino effect that kicks off that routine. So for me, my AM routine starts at a different time, literally every single day. And so what I have there is when I wake up, that's when I click play and click start on the routine. Even if I have to skip steps, move steps, as long as I click start, it feels good because I know that I'm reminding myself of what's important to me when it comes to my AM routine. So step 1 is in the bathroom and just doing a little bit of skincare in the morning, getting my hair out of my face, some micellar water, and then this Pixie spray that I just have absolutely been loving. I talked about this in a favorites video years ago, and I used up the bottle I talked about, and I bought the big one afterwards because I love it. Then I get my Aura Ring on the charger. The Aura Ring, I talked about this in a favorites video as well. I love, 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 love my Aura Ring. And it stays charged for like let's say 4-ish days. And so I used to have a different routine and rhythm where I did charge it twice a week and let it go till it's full charge. What I was basing that routine off of has changed. And so now I just put it on the charger every morning, and sometimes it gets to the full charge, sometimes it doesn't, but so far that's working for me. Then the next step is to put laundry into the washer. To be honest, this morning, that step happened at the very end. Part of it was because I didn't get the laundry out of Lila's room and she wasn't awake yet. And then once she was up, going into the laundry room is just like, it wasn't happening. So that spot is here in the order of things, and I like to get it done at this point in my morning, but it doesn't always happen. Then I finally get to make my coffee. I fill up my water, I have a good amount of water, and then I make my coffee. I love the cold brew from Trader Joe's. I was actually out of it and was trying the cold brew from Costco, which was good, and it's in cans, so it is a little bit easier for me to control how much coffee I'm having each day, but I love the cold brew, and I picked up some more yesterday, and I just have it with half and half. Nothing like that first sip of coffee. And then I take my vitamins for the day. I've been using this, like, I call it my old lady vitamin case for years, but I love it. I love having it filled for the week, and I can easily take my vitamins. The next step is updating the app that I use where I track Lila's food and sleep, and then I make sure Charlie's bowl is filled to the top, and then I take my ring off the charger. If I can get through those steps before she wakes up, it's gonna be a good day. That is always my goal, is I kind of base it on what time I think she's gonna wake up, and I give myself that amount of time. It's about 15 minutes. If I can get that done before she wakes up, I feel like I'm ready for the day. The next step is getting Lila fed, and then we move into the living room. And step one is opening up the windows. Depending on the time of day, right now, as of the filming of this video with daylight savings, sometimes it's still dark in the living room when we go in there, and it's not fun. So this morning, luckily, it was beautiful and light outside, and I know that that's temporary and it will get better. Then I tidy up the living room, so I just kind of pick up any toys from the day before that were on the floor and, you know, kind of puff the pillows. I fold any blankets that got messed up, just kind of reset the living room before the day starts. Then I sit down on the couch and I do some of my like reading and journaling steps. So I am rereading the Daily Stoic this year, which I am absolutely enjoying. I read it 2 years in a row in 2020 and 2021, and then I took a break and came back to it this year, and I'm very much enjoying it. Then I write in my 5-year gratitude journal. I'm actually on the last year of my 5-year journal, which kind of makes me sad because I realize I'm not gonna go back and read these entries as often as I've reread like the first one. And then I do my I am statements. I just have a little journal in here and I write these I am statements. I do 5 every single day. 4 of them are the same, and then 1 of them I change based on what I feel like I need that day. I am blank, whatever or mantra, like affirmation I need for the day. Then I answer the question in the Paired app, which is the relationship app that I use with my husband. And then I sit there and read my nonfiction book. This is how I make sure that I set aside time to make progress on my physical nonfiction books. Otherwise, I don't have any other time scheduled in the day to read them. So I try to prioritize it. I have it set for 10 minutes in the app. Sometimes I will do the full 10 minutes. Sometimes if I hit kind of a natural stopping point a little bit earlier, I will stop a little bit earlier. I hardly ever go over 10 minutes. So like at least, let's say 5 to 7 minutes. So the progress is slow, but I'm making progress and I'm reading, and that feels good. Then if I did put the laundry in at the time in the order that I want to put the laundry in, it's time to switch it into the dryer. So I will do that step. And then we move into the office, and I start by getting my day all planned out. If you've been watching some of my recent Plan With Me's, I have been just planning in a notebook, and it has absolutely been working well for me. So I get the day all planned out, and then I take a picture of that and I post it to the community Facebook group. Almost every day I take a picture of my plans and post it into the Facebook group. Then I grab my laptop, and I typically do a couple of steps on my laptop. So the first one is checking with my budget, or just updating the transactions for both my business account, which is inside Wave, that's the platform that I use, accounting software, and then for personal, which is inside YNAB, which is You Need a Budget. That's what we use for our personal finances. And so I will update the transactions. I had a little friend who wanted to sit in my lap and help me with this morning. And so then when it came time for the next steps, I actually skipped them, partially because she was getting a little bit restless, and then partially because I have my communication routine scheduled for earlier in the day today, because the next couple steps are related to that. It's responding to the community, the texts from the texting service that the community is able to sign up for, and the community Facebook group. Especially if my communication routine is scheduled for later in the day, I always like to take time in my morning routine to respond to the community members. But this morning that didn't happen. I skipped both of those steps, but as soon as I'm done filming this clip, I'm gonna go respond to, I'm gonna go do my communication routine. The next step is to get the bed made. This step definitely depends on when my husband is awake and out of the bed. Sometimes we will do it before the office step. If he's awake, before we do that, we will go in there and make the bed before the office. But if he's not awake, then sometimes it's after the office. If he's still not awake, then I push it obviously to the very end. Lila likes to make the bed. She loves to like lay on our big bed and like roll around and just like, there's so much space and it's comfy and squishy. So we used to have a rule that the last person out of the bed made the bed, but now it's back to just being my thing. Then we move into the kitchen and it's time for breakfast. I have eggs pretty much every day for breakfast. And then Lila will have breakfast at this time, depending on what we have going on the rest of the day. I'm not gonna get into that, but sometimes it's just me, sometimes it's both of us. And then the last step is just a couple last minute things for Lila that I get done before we get on with our day. So that is my morning routine. Again, it doesn't look the same every day, and some of those steps will take longer or less time, but in an ideal world, those are the steps that I am getting done every morning, every weekday morning to help get us going for the day. So that is gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. So then, that sounded awkward. I'm gonna try this one more time.